One of the hardest things about drawing these shapes, and I have mine up in front of me, is getting them symmetrical. And yours may not be perfectly symmetrical, but I'm going to draw each type of these. I'm going to draw one of each so that you can see, kind of how to do that and get yours as symmetrical as possible. So I'm going to start with the amphora, which is the first one there. So I would just start with a line across the top, and then it curves in. And you want to draw these pretty large, by the way, because you're going to be adding designs to these. And if you draw something very tiny, it's going to be really difficult for me to see your work and for you to complete your work. So draw big. I'm working in the sketchbook, and it's pretty large. Okay, so that's how I've started it. You can see there. Okay. Now, I'm not going to worry about the handles yet. The quicker you can sketch this, the more likely you are to make it symmetrical, because you're not going to be concentrating on every little thing and nitpicking. Now, you just saw me go back and correct that. I don't actually know where an eraser is right now, so hang on a second. Let me pause. Alright, so now I'm just going to erase that. Alright, let's continue on, shall we? So now I have this under here. And there's a small line underneath there. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'm going to try to get this big part done first. So it starts wide, big curve, and then comes down pretty quickly. Almost kind of like a heart, honestly. And what you can't tell that I'm doing is when I'm drawing this other side, I'm constantly looking over at this one. Okay, so once you do one side, that can be your reference point. Don't hesitate to look over there at it. Okay, you already did it once. And then down here is a little curve. Okay, and again, take your eraser. This pencil just doesn't have one on it, so I gotta use this. And clean it up a little. But we still have some details to add. We still have the foot. That's what we call this part down here, where it sets, and we have the handles. So let's go ahead and do the foot. And that kind of starts out here. And I am it's hard to draw and talk. My computer also froze for a second. Okay. And there's a tiny little line under here. And it's important to draw these little areas like you see them on the image, because these can be spaces you can add designs and things. Alright, and now I need to do my handles. So let me get back to that slide. Okay, now the handles on this one are going to be up here. Alright, so once you draw one with just a single line, I would come over here and do this one too. Kind of like that. And trust me, the symmetry thing is not easy. Mine's a little jacked up here. That's better. So now I'll just erase this one. And then just double that line. Draw one inside here. like you see on the picture, which I'll show you in a second. Like that. And I'll add in this little area because this could be a nice area to do some of those designs. And that is the amphora. So I have very sketchy lines in here. And once you have it looking pretty symmetrical, you're happy with it, go back and clean those up. And then erase the extra lines that you don't need. Just so everything's nice and neat for when you draw your designs. So there's an example of how to sketch the amphora Greek vase.